Part 8. Into the Serpent's Lair. The uneasy alliance with Savara and her reptilian soldiers was like walking a razor's edge. Cade, Dane, and Lio moved in tense silence as they followed the shapeshifter through the jagged canyon. Kaora brought up the rear, her massive form making every step echo with a deep rumble. The reptilians flanked them, their amber eyes glinting in the dim light like predators on the hunt. Leo's heart hadn't stopped racing since the confrontation in the cavern. Every instinct screamed at her to run, to get as far away from Savara as possible. But there was nowhere to go. The shadow of Magnar's army loomed over them, and the prophecy Kaora had revealed hung heavy in her mind. You are the sacrifice. You must give everything. She swallowed hard, glancing at Cade. He walked ahead of her, his blade still in hand, his golden eyes scanning their surroundings with tireless vigilance. He hadn't spoken since agreeing to Savara's terms, but the tension in his shoulders told her everything she needed to know. He didn't trust Savara any more than she did. "Keep up, little one," Savara called over her shoulder, her tone dripping with mockery. "We don't have all day." Lio gritted her teeth, biting back a retort. She didn't want to give Savara the satisfaction of knowing she was getting under her skin. Instead, she quickened her pace, trying to ignore the reptilians who slithered around her like wolves circling prey. "What exactly is this plan of yours?" Cade asked, his voice cutting through the silence like a blade. "You said you know what Magnar is planning." "Let's hear it." Savara smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Patience, Cade," she said. "All will be revealed soon." "No," Cade said firmly, stopping in his tracks. The group came to an abrupt halt, and the tension in the air grew thick enough to cut. "You don't get to lead us blindly into a trap. If you want our help, you tell us everything. Now." Savara's smile faltered, and for a moment her amber eyes flickered with irritation. But then she sighed theatrically, as if humoring a petulant child. "Fine," she said. "If you must know, Magnar's forces are gathering near the ruins of an ancient temple. He plans to use the temple's power to awaken something." "What something?" Dane demanded, his rifle aimed loosely at her. Savara's lips curved into a sly smile. "That's the fun part. No one knows for sure. The temple predates even the fallen angels' arrival on this world. It's said to house a weapon, something capable of destroying not just humanity, but the giants, the reptilians, and the fallen alike." "A weapon?" Lio asked, her voice trembling. "You mean it's real? The one from the prophecy?" Savara turned to her, her gaze sharp. "Real enough to make Magnar risk everything for it. And if he gets his hands on it, well..." She let the sentence hang, her meaning clear. Kaora, who had been silent until now, spoke. "The temple is cursed," she said, her deep voice reverberating through the canyon. "No one who enters leaves unchanged. The power within it is not meant to be wielded." "And yet here we are," Savara said, her tone mocking. "Humans, fallen angels, giants, and reptilians, all chasing after the same forbidden fruit. Isn't it poetic?" "It's madness," Kaora said, her pale blue eyes narrowing. "You would risk unleashing a greater evil just to stop Magnar?" Savara shrugged. "Evil is relative, darling. Besides, I'm not the one with the bloodline that can unlock the temple's secrets." She turned to Lio, her smile turning predatory. "That honor belongs to our dear Liora." The temple came into view just as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of blood red and gold. It was a massive structure, carved into the side of a mountain, its crumbling facade covered in intricate carvings that seemed to glow faintly in the twilight. The air around it was thick and heavy, as if the temple itself exuded a malevolent energy. Leo's stomach churned as she stared at it. She could feel the weight of the place pressing down on her, a deep, primal fear that made her want to turn and run. But there was no turning back now. "This is it," Savara said, her voice almost reverent. "The gateway to everything." Cade stepped forward, his blade still in hand. "What's the plan?" Savara gestured to the temple. "Simple. We go in, stop Magnar from activating whatever's inside, and get out." "That's not a plan," Dane snapped. "That's suicide." Savara smirked. "Then feel free to stay behind, soldier. I'm sure the giants will appreciate the company." "Enough," Cade said sharply. He turned to Lio, his expression softening slightly. "Are you ready for this?" "No." Lio admitted, her voice trembling. But I don't think I have a choice. He nodded, placing a reassuring hand on her shoulder. Stay close to me, no matter what happens. She nodded, her heart pounding as they approached the temple's entrance. The reptilians moved ahead, their movements swift and silent as they scouted the area. Kaora followed, her massive form casting long shadows over the ancient stone. The entrance to the temple was a gaping maw, its edges carved with symbols that glowed faintly in the darkness. Lio felt a strange pull as she stepped inside, as if the temple itself was calling to her. The air was cold and damp, and the faint sound of whispers echoed through the corridors. This place gives me the creeps, Dane muttered, his rifle raised and ready. You're not alone, Lio said, her voice barely above a whisper. The group moved deeper into the temple, the tension growing with every step. The carvings on the walls seemed to shift and writhe in the dim light, and the whispers grew louder, though no one could pinpoint their source. This isn't right, Kaora said, her voice low and wary. The temple is alive. It knows we're here. It's just a trick, Sivara said, though there was a hint of unease in her tone. Ignore it. Lio wasn't so sure. The whispers seemed to be speaking directly to her, their words just out of reach. She could feel the pull growing stronger, drawing her toward the heart of the temple. And then they reached the central chamber. It was a vast, circular room, its walls covered in glowing symbols that pulsed like a heartbeat. In the center of the chamber was a massive stone altar, and atop it rested an object that made Lio's breath catch in her throat. The tablet she had found at the excavation site. How is that possible? She whispered, stepping closer. I thought I left it behind. You didn't, Cade said grimly. It was always meant to be here. Before Lio could respond, a deep, guttural laugh echoed through the chamber. The temperature dropped sharply, and the shadows seemed to deepen as a massive figure stepped forward. Magnar, the giant leader, towered over them, his stone-like skin glinting in the faint light. His glowing eyes locked onto Lio, and a cruel smile spread across his face. You've come just as I knew you would, he said, his voice a low rumble. The key to everything. Cliffhanger. As Magnar steps closer, the temple itself begins to tremble. The symbols on the walls flare to life, and the whispers erupt into a deafening roar. Lio clutches her head, her vision blurring as the tablet begins to glow. The last thing she sees before everything goes dark is Sivara's satisfied smile and Magnar reaching for her.